back to Current Calamities, where I take a break from the past and look forward to the future with the games of the present. I'm only worth this amount of clear points? Come on.
Mega Man is back for the 11th time. I mean, that's technically true when it comes to the core series, but when taking into account all of his other games, he hasn't been gone for long. Neglecting the false statement on the back of the box, Mega Man has indeed returned to his original roots with a new entry 8 years since the last. I'm super boned that the Wii Shop channel is gone. Tried to get 9 and 10 before it closed, but I missed the date.
I wanna buy those games. I wanna buy those games. Let me buy the games.
My Blue Bomber experience has been maybe below average. I've played the first 3 NES games in the series, even beating the original game on my LP channel if you want to go check that out.
Yeah! But we're skipping all the way to the next entry to see how the new release sticks out. Granted, maybe I should let some other Mega Man pros review this since I haven't played the full series, but I am waiting for something to come out, so in the meantime, let's jump into the Blue Bomber's latest adventure.
Our 11th story begins with a flashback of sorts, where Dr. Wily gets shut down by good guy Dr. Light and the rest of Robot University. Yes, I'm being serious, for his lackluster invention involving some type of gear device that he destroys out of frustration because, sure. Turns out it was actually a dream, and Wily figures it as a sign for his next attempt of world domination. That's a good starting point. Now let's get to playing. What should our difficulty be? I'm tempted to choose normal, but casual seems like the true normal, and seeing as I haven't played Mega Man in a while, as the description says, I'm gonna pick that. Don't judge my casualness. We pick things back up in the present day of 20XX. Dr. Light, Roll, and Otto are checking up on some robotos. And I'll quickly point out the dialogue mixed with the voice acting is a bit cheesy and borderline cringy.
Oh, I ain't a machine. I mean, I am, but still.
My point exactly. But Dr. Wily comes in to save us from the cringe and issues a warning to Dr. Light and Mega Man in boy slave attire. He's recreated his old invention and plans to take over the world with it, with the robots that just happen to be here. Mega Man wants to go after him, but Dr. Light comes to the conclusion that we would be no match.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see y'all next time. Okay, I'm obviously kidding.
Dr. Light somehow has the prototype of the double gear system that, remember, was destroyed, but he must have repaired it because he knew how good it could be. He's one of those glory-seeking jerks. Installs it in Mega Man, and with a final blessing from everybody, we get to stepping to take the Mad Doctor down. Not without some tutorials about double gear. All this gear talk makes me think Solid Snake is gonna make a cameo. The double gear system is the new gimmick, if you couldn't tell. By pressing R, you'll be able to slow down time for a little bit, or by pressing L, you'll increase your current power for a moment. You can also use both at the same time, but that'll be even briefer, and I'll explain more once we get into the levels, but I'm having trouble figuring out how to do the slide. It says to use the left stick and B, but how do I do it right? Oh, down and B. You gotta be a little clearer with this casual noob. Now we're into the core gameplay by having to choose our first robot master to battle. And I'm so glad they retained Mega Man's eye scrolling. Gonna make the Blue Bomber vomit in no time.
Now, by using my intuition alone and not because I'm looking at an external source, we're gonna start with Blockman to start putting a stop to the Doctor's
Metal Gear.
It feels good to play this kind of a game again. It has been a while, and it may show through my playing. I mean, I'm comfortable with these controls and most enemies are easy to get by, but sometimes this level was a piece of work. I mean, shooting these guys was a bit of a challenge, and getting a little knockback when getting hit is still a nuisance I wish they could get rid of, but I was still able to get around, blast the familiar and unfamiliar foes away, and figure out when to use the double gear feature when necessary. Didn't have to use the power gear much, but the speed gear helped me get away from apparent danger and fight the mini-bosses, in theory, but both came in real handy for Blockman. I swear, for being the recommended first boss, he was a big pain after his first phase. Once he goes all super robo, he kinda had me in a corner and pummeled me before I could knock him down a peg after he did a number on my life bar. Keep in mind that after you use one of your gears, you'll have to wait a while for it to recharge. So that was a pain that I had to repeat, but I eventually did it and got my first power-up. Using blocks on overkill. Right, now what's the next robot we should choose?
Acid Man, right.
Now this level was an experience for me. I mean, there was a ton of crap to take in, from spiders that multiplied to poison liquids to the return of the one-hit spikes. They are the bane of my existence. This level made me realize how the devs really focused on developing the levels to a point where they can be fun but very challenging, but not totally unfair. I mean, fighting these spiders will take you down a bit on life, but you can easily recover life from what they drop. It's very tricky to get by the spikes, but not impossible. Thank God for unlimited continues, otherwise I would have flipped. So the next boss, Acid Man, is easily taken down by blocks, because, you know, acid can't get through blocks. It's a proven scientific. Anyway, it's time to choose one more robot for the review, but which one?
What about Impact Man? Why not?
Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks of Gutsman stage, and I hated that stage and Gutsman with a passion. This level is more platform oriented than the rest we've seen. It was mostly straightforward, but a little unfair. I mean, this part right here trying to climb up while avoiding these spikes, I found myself having to take a hit at some points because there was no other way to avoid them. Another thing that annoyed me was when enemies respawn when you get them off camera. I usually don't mind it, but this level made me hate it so much. I got pummeled unfairly. Even when I made it past one part, I got beaten back down. But even after all that, I managed to get to Impact Man, luckily taking him out before he did the same to me. It was a very close battle, but Acid beat Impact, because it's a proven scientific. But I think that's enough of the levels. Let's see what's going on in Dr. Light's lab. Turns out they're trying to make a profit out of me by offering me rare power-ups and upgrades. During the game, you'll be able to collect screws in order to exchange for valuable items, but you are able to get some by chance or by risk. You see this scenario right here? That's just dickish. But we also have options, including but not limited to controls to configure or remind you how to play, brightness and audio to adjust to your liking, shortcut and rumble set to always on, exit to title screen, not without saving first, but yeah, I think we're done here. I don't want to show off too much, but from what I played so far, this seems pretty promising. I know it's been months since it came out, but hey, some games take longer to get to than others, and I'm glad I got around to this. Oh, and did I mention this was released to coincide with Mega Man's 30th anniversary? Well, I don't think I can think of a better way to celebrate the Blue Bomber's birthday than with a good callback to the roots.
So with that all being said, what's my overall opinion?
My experience may be limited with the Blue Bomber, but that doesn't mean I can't tell the difference between a good or bad game, and this falls right into the good category. Mega Man 11 is a fine addition to the main series. It'll remind you of the glory days when it was on the NES, both in its fantastic gameplay and frustrating bits. It keeps trucking along, adding new things to keep the formula fresh and still looking like new. Be sure to play it when you can, even if you do go out of order. Does anyone know where I can get 9 and 10, or maybe even 5 for a fair deal? So what do you think? Do you agree with me, or have your own thoughts? Let me know by leaving a comment. If you like what you see, like the video with those thumbs up. If you think anyone else would like this vid, share it around. And if you want to see more of me, this show, and others, hit the subscribe button. I'm BrianTheBlue, thanks for watching. I'm going back to the past, and until next time, I'll see you in the future.